Welcome to BTV News Hour. I'm Angelina Mambo and it's Wednesday, the 11th of May 2016. Here are our top stories. Betrayal as Osibajo's right-hand man sends Buhari deadly signals. Shocking, British Prime Minister caught on camera, Nigeria is finished. Buhari cries to ex-Niger Delta militants for help. I can't beat IPOB, help me. Now the news in details. Renewed management expert Pat Utomi has accused Vice President Yemi Osibajo of unnecessary silence despite being aware of the policy failure of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration, which is responsible for the current economic woes. Osibajo is said to be currently under intense pressure from technocrats and experts who believe that his perceived silence in the running of the economy by President Muhammadu Buhari may lead Nigeria into a serious economic problem. Utomi, at a breakfast meeting organized by the Redeemed Christian Church of God in Lagos, maintained that things are falling out of place for Buhari. He noted Osibajo's silence on the issues but stressed that the Vice President will admit that Buhari is ruling the country with a medieval mindset if forced to speak out. When asked how long Nigerians might have to wait for the change they voted for, he said, "Everything is based on context. Take a look at the mismanagement of this whole thing. The whole idea is nonsensical." Utomi had earlier described President Buhari as being lazy and attributed the persistent fuel queues, hardship and increase in electricity tariff on the people of the lack of vision by leaders at the helm of affairs. He lamented Buhari's economic policies were flawed with no clear-cut blueprint for national development and growth. His words, "Nigeria has a lazy political class that is not visionary enough to see the need to reposition the country in the right policies that will shore up growth and stability in our economy without the sense of playing selfish and dancing to personal gains and self-aggrandizement." The British Prime Minister was caught on camera telling the Queen on Tuesday, the 10th of May 2016, that some fantastically corrupt leaders, including Nigeria and Afghanistan, were due to attend his anti-corruption summit. In a poll video feed, Mr. Cameron was shown talking with the Queen about the summit. "We had a very successful cabinet meeting this morning, talking about our anti-corruption summit," Mr. Cameron said when the Queen approached. The Prime Minister will host an international anti-corruption summit on Thursday, the 12th of May 2016, aimed at stepping up global action to combat corruption in all walks of life. Mr. Cameron went on saying, "We have got the Nigerians. Actually, we have got some leaders of some fantastically corrupt countries coming to Britain. Nigeria and Afghanistan, possibly two of the most corrupt countries in the world." Number 10 declined to comment directly on the Premier's conversations with the Queen, but pointed out that the leaders of both countries had acknowledged the scale of the problem they faced. When Buhari threatened and boasted to crush Radio Biafra London out of the Nigeria airwaves and render it silent, everybody took him seriously. But when he couldn't achieve this threat, he sought and bought over satellite communication of Israel, the company carrying Radio Biafra signals. Consequence to that, the satellite got missing in the orbit. Did he crush Radio Biafra London? You know the answer. Buhari thought that by arresting Nnamdi Kanu, the director of Radio Biafra, that he will succeed in silencing IPOB, but he failed. Nnamdi Kanu is in detention, and Biafra Television London went on air and is broadcasting on satellite and on cable TV as well as on the internet. Now he has issued another threat that instead of Biafra to come, he, Buhari, would die. And we know that to be true because Biafra will come and Buhari will die. He has never carried out any threat in his life without seeking outside help. The little momentary success the Nigerian military had over Boko Haram was with the help of Niger and the Cameroonian forces. Now, who is Buhari going to use to actualize his threat of stopping Biafra? You won't believe this. Buhari, under the auspices of the Nigerian DSS, summoned a secret meeting of ex-Niger Delta militant leaders in Abuja. In attendance were all the former militants except Asari Dokubo and Tompolo, who fought for resource control until they were granted amnesty by the Nigerian government. In the meeting, Buhari offered them huge sum of money to sabotage the Biafra restoration effort by fighting against those Biafrans of the Niger Delta extraction and the militants known as the Avengers, from supporting the Biafra restoration project or calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. This is another strategy devised by Buhari to create disunity among Biafrans, especially those from the Niger Delta region as they choose to call them. Buhari has seen that his effort is not yielding fruit, and as such had to crawl on his knees, seeking help from our own people to destroy themselves. Our cousins from the Niger Delta, as they are called, should not fall prey to Buhari's machinations, as it will only amount to a cause of use and dump. This present agitation to restore Biafra is unlike any. The whole of Biafra is behind the leadership of Nnamdi Kanu, and unlike 1967-70, we will no longer be divided by the Arewa in conjunction with their cowardly Yoruba counterparts. It is very obvious that the only reason they want to create division within the IPOB family and keep us bondage is perpetuity. Is because of our oil and gas. That is their only means of survival. This is therefore a notice to the international community to know how Buhari is twisting the course of justice in Nigeria. Buhari advocated for the sovereignty of the people of Palestine and opted to be the first to support the self-determination effort of people of West Sahara. But in the case of the right of Biafrans to self-determination, Buhari sees it as an abomination. A leader has never branded himself a hypocrite, so much so as Muhammadu Buhari. The right of the indigenous people to self-determination is a lawful right supported by both local and international laws. And IPOB seek the right to self-determination of Biafrans within the ambit of the law. So nothing, nobody, not even General Muhammadu Hitler Buhari can stop it. Buhari is hallucinating. Biafra predates his and his Nigeria. Biafra will outlive you and Nigeria, Buhari. But who is the man called Muhammadu Buhari? Buhari is as corrupt as those he's prosecuting. He has blood in his hands. An ethnic bigot, an unrepentant dictator in civilian uniform, a religious fundamentalist, and an arch-genocidist. The arch-supporter of terrorism, who also have franchise in Boko Haram. He circumvented the electoral law by presenting a fake certificate. A man who does not understand the basic tenets of democracy, who does not understand what inclusive governance development is, and as such think that he is a president of a particular section of the country. A man whose only mission is to annihilate his enemies with air finality. It is hypocritical in the circumstance to having admitted that Buhari is the leader of the most fantastically corrupt country. Why then is the British government inviting him? We will always be vindicated. Thank you so much for joining us here on BTV News Hour. We will be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching.